You're listening to a Countout Podcast.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Independent Waters. I am your host, Mikey Manfredi, and joining me, as always, is the other host of this show, Zach Batista. Zach, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. It's good to be back after the week break we took. I'm excited.
Yeah, nice, relaxed, refreshed, ready to get into some more wrestling this week.
Hell yeah. We got a good lineup this week.
Quite so. I'm not sure who picked the majority of the match for this one because it was so long ago. But
I believe it was you.
Okay, and I think I picked Joe Lando versus Safire Reed versus Danny Black from UKPW in a triple threat match.
Yep.
And I picked Ashley Vox versus Kaia McKenna from Women's Wrestling Revolution from, I believe it was from Borscht at the Beach.
Yes, I believe you're correct. And if you picked those matches, then the only one left that I could have possibly picked was Fred Yehi versus Daniel Garcia at AAW Pro.
Ooh, that sounds like a technical wrestling dream match, huh?
Spoiler alert, it most certainly was,
It
and
is.
I loved it.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little later, though. I believe we are starting off with this triple threat match from UKPW.
Yes, so this match had more context in it than I initially thought it was going to have, to be honest.
Yeah.
So currently, going into this match, Joe and Danny are in a feud with each other, which is likely going to end in their upcoming third match against each other, I assume, for the title, because Danny is the UKPW Inter-Regional Champion. Safire seems like she's been thrown here probably because of a mixture of how well she's done in recent matches, and also because, spice things up between these two. So yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, sounds about right.
So as a result, when the match starts, Danny and Joe get right in each other's faces and completely ignore Safire. Safire is quite literally the meme of the guy.
Which is bullshit, by the way.
She's literally the meme of the person standing at the party in the corner with the cup in their hand, going they don't know I'm in this triple threat match.
Yeah.
And reasonably, as Mikey said, this is bullshit and it pisses her off. So she walks up and shoves them both to get their attention. And well, I mean, she got their attention. They tag team
not in a great way.
The shit out of her they double arm drags. Danny locks her in a Muda lock. Fucking Joe lines her up, runs the ropes, drop kicks her in the face, pushes her to the outside. Distraction removed. I was like, well, shit. After this, though,
that was just so rude how they just were like, these two hate each other, but they were willing to put their differences aside just to say "fuck you" to Safire.
Get the fuck out of here. You're not involved with this. Get out. This alliance then immediately crumbles. These two go right back at each other. Except this time,
it was never meant to last long.
Oh no! They trade strikes. They start to flip and counter each other. It's a full fucking circus act as the two of them try to outdo the other one. But they're both evenly matched, so neither one really gets an advantage by the end of it.
Yeah.
So they're just staring each other down some more, and in comes Safire to take advantage of the situation, where she actually uses Joe as leverage to get up on the top rope. She runs the ropes then for a little bit, jumps off the rope, Hurricane Run as Danny into Joe as he's reeling from her using his arm to jump up.
With a spear,
yes.
Which was awesome.
So Danny then spears Joe. She then dominates the two of them with running strikes in the corner to keep them there until Danny eventually throws her back into said corner. And after forearming her in the face, he throws her towards Joe, but she counters it by ducking Joe and throwing him into Danny. At this point, the triple threat has actually gone to full swing. The alliance that was there for a moment is gone because, as Safire's just shown, she ain't the one to fuck around with.
Yeah. She ain't the one to fuck around with. No, she's not. Mm-hmm. She was getting attacked at the beginning by both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Came back and was like, all right, y'all want to play? We'll play.
Yep. So after...
and just fucked him up.
Yeah, absolutely fucked up. So after throwing Joe into Danny, she proceeds to take out both of them with individual German suplex, and then one German suplex that takes them both out because, if I recall correctly, I think it was Joe grabbed Danny. Danny couldn't really do much, and she lifted them both up and slammed them into the mat.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome looking spot here. This just leaves them both Joe and her in the ring, and Danny on the outside because he took, as I said, the majority of that suplex. With Joe and Safire being the only two left in the ring, brutally, Safire just keeps battering Joe with forearms as he is clinging to the ropes. As I said, he just took a double German, basically.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
But when she finally gets him to move, he counters it with an enziguri to the side of her head. And then after this, because she's now stunned, he's able to snapmare her and drive his knee into her back with a modified surfboard hold. She does, as Mikey and I have gone through, she is sturdy and is not going to go down easily, so she actually gets to her feet. So he then suplexes her and just continues beating her down while also knocking Danny off the apron whenever he gets up. And, like, it's just this cycle where, like, Safire is resiliently trying to fight back into this match, but Joe is just beating her ass, honestly.
And yeah, and then whenever Black tries to also get into the match, Joe is also like, no, get out,
fuck off. So, eventually, after driving her into the mat with a Falcon Arrow, Joe starts to mockingly kick Safire in the face, which, as we've gone over many times in the show, is the classic blunder of anyone.
Such a bad idea.
All it does is fire the person that you're doing it to up, which it does.
Yep, I'm going to say, the trend does not change here, folks.
Mm-hmm. Once she gets to her feet, she unleashes a flurry of forearms into her face before withstanding a meaty strike from him and then stunning him with an enziguri. And as Safire then crumples and falls out of the ring, like rolls out of the ring to get her bearings, you can just see, just in the background, you can just see Danny climbing to the top rope. And as Joe turns around, Danny just wipes him out with a diving crossbody.
Incredible.
You know, I just thought of...
That was a huge crossbody.
Yeah. Oh, it was... it was good height. I like the fact you just see him just in the background, just like, can't knock me down now, motherfucker.
Yeah.
With a series of kicks, Danny then knocks Joe back to the corner, and he just beats him down with a running forearm. And when Joe counters him and tosses him into a corner, Danny uses the turnbuckle to leap towards Joe and then double stomp him to the mat.
Yep, which was sick.
Great spot. He then knocks Safire off the ropes as she gets up, while also hitting Joe with a rolling kick before slamming him backwards with a dragon suplex.
Mm-hmm.
In order to get back into this at this point, Joe actually stops a pump handle slam by Danny with a strike. And following this, he then catches a kick from him, trips him back onto the mat, and gives him his own double stomp instead.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Safire has gotten back into the ring, and she takes Joe out with a European uppercut from the second rope. However,
which was awesome.
Unfortunately, she gets knocked down by another rolling kick from Danny, which then leaves them all laid out in the ring. And
this match is so lucha.
Oh yeah.
It's so lucha. Like, the action is all over the place. They're always doing something. They're all flying around.
Mm-hmm.
There's arm drags galore, crazy double team spots. This match is just like, it's a great example of like a lucha triple threat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's just so fast paced. Everyone's reversing each other. There's always something going on. This one just felt so action packed, and we're not even done yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They really packed a lot into this match, and I appreciate that. I also appreciate, side note, because I've got a chance to mention it, I appreciate how much this crowd was behind Sapphire, because in a situation like this, it's really easy to only focus on the two main guys, and the third one being
who have the match coming up, who have their round 3 match coming up tomorrow,
and then the third person being the third wheel. That's kind of like just to be there to be an interesting twist. Like, they actually seem like they really wanted Sapphire to win this. So I appreciated that. It gave like this match a dynamic of like, okay, all three competitors here are over in their own way and quite good.
Mm-hmm. I think in the beginning, I'm not trying to make any like super bold claims here, but I think in the beginning they mentioned it was supposed to be 4 people, so it might have been like a mixed tag or like a fatal 4-way, and then one of the people got like that couldn't make it. So they turned it into this triple threat. I can't remember exactly, though. I think I remember the announcer mentioning something about that.
I could see that, then. So, in fact, how much action was in this match.
Either way, there was so much happening in this match.
Speaking of so much happening,
it was pretty good.
We get our awesome Mexican standoff point here where they all get back up in the ring. all at their feet at the same time, and Safire goes off on both of them with consecutive chops.
While they're all getting up, they're all chopping each other in like a
Yes.
triangle. But while they're all going from like on their knees to standing, they're all just hitting each other with chops the whole way up.
Then, as I said, as I jumped the gun a bit, Safire goes off on these 2 consecutive chops, but that is short-lived because the 2 of them stop her by super kicking her into another dimension for a little bit.
Yeah, that was brutal.
So now it's just the two of them. It's now just Joe, and Danny, and they waste no time going at each other. Joe comes out on top though, by backflipping to avoid a strike from Danny, and then hitting him with a cutter that he calls the Flaming Twist Cutter.
The Flaming Twist. What a name.
Mm-hmm. It's like an anime move.
Yeah, right.
But in a cruel twist of fate here, Safire gets back into the ring and then uses Danny to hit him with a cutter as well.
Yes.
So Joe gets taken out with his own cutter, and Safire then turns her attention towards Danny and takes him out with a Hurricane Rana, but it's not enough to get her the win, so she goes to the middle rope. And here, Joe stops her with several strikes, gets her in a fall away slam position. And from the second rope, while still holding on to her this whole time, he backflips and slams Safire back first onto the mat. Fucking awesome.
I think we forgot about the Panama Sunrise that Reed pulled off.
I think I might have missed that in these notes.
It was right after she did like the double cutter.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like right after that, and then she picked up Lando and did the Panama Sunrise.
Probably was in like that big mix of action in there.
And then it was the flipping senton spot.
Yes. Good call. So after she gets slammed to the mat, Joe... she kicks out of it, so Joe kicks her out of the ring. Don't need that. And he frustratingly goes after Danny. But he gets cut off mid-running the ropes when Danny nails him with a standing Spanish fly. Just out of nowhere, out of pocket.
Which was dope. It was great.
You always love your Spanish flies, Mikey.
How can I not?
It's a great-looking move. Except Danny... So Danny didn't like Safire, heads to the top rope after Joe kicks out. And like before with Safire, Joe climbs up and tries to stop him. However, this time, Danny knocks Joe backwards, and as he's hanging off the ropes, Danny double stomps him in the chest to drive him into the mat. He then
Which was awesome.
Finishes Joe off with his package next stop driver he calls Fear Itself.
Horrifying.
Yeah, that's a fucking name. But as he is pinning Joe, Safire sneaks back into the ring, gets behind Danny, grabs both his arms, and puts him in a crucifix roll-up and pins him.
Yeah, she gets the win here.
She gets a cheeky win, despite the odds being against her of these two initially starting out the match, trying to beat her ass, and she pins the champ. So now, for this promotion, it went into the matter of if Joe or Danny wins, whoever wins has to probably fight her next, as she's just pinned the champ.
Oh, probably.
And I'm like, that's a dope finish.
In wrestling rules, you beat the champ, you get a title shot, right?
Always, 100%. It never.
That's always how it works.
Mm-hmm. That never gets forgotten about at points.
All right, so what are we giving this triple threat matchup from UKPW?
I was torn a bit on my rating for this match because I thought I was going from like solid to great, but I think I'm going to lean more towards the great for this match. I thought that each person in this match came out looking better, and I thought that because of the crowd as well being behind Safire, this match felt like an even fight between all three of them and just kind of enhanced the action in the match.
Yes, I agree. And before Zach, do we want to reveal our little thing we've been talking about now on air live?
I think
about our rating system.
I think the idea is money, but we'll wait for the 1 year anniversary.
Okay, all right, we'll hold it off. So we'll stick to our normal scale for now.
100 episodes, I think.
Yeah, it's something like that. We're getting close. So like I said, we have some changes coming to our rating system. We're finding it hard to rate it on our normal scale, but I think the one we have coming is gonna make things a little more clear about how we feel about matches.
Yep.
All right, so we're gonna stick to our old scale right for now of miss out, or mark out. So Zach, what are you giving this match?
I give this match a high Matt.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. Yeah, I think I'm with you there. It's very close, though. It's very close. I think for me, what's holding it back from a markout is that there was a couple of spots that felt a little awkward, or there were some strikes that just didn't really land for me. Like, there was still some stuff I can point out in this match that I wasn't a fan of, But for the most part, I think the action was there. It was super fun. It was super fast paced, which was awesome. And these three just didn't let up for a single second. But like I said, it still had a couple of awkward moments here and there. So I think that's what's keeping it from the mark out. So I'm with you on the high Met here.
Excellent. I'm glad to see we are of the same mind. Whenever we do get the new system started, probably in episode 100, the ratings will be it'll be interesting to see how they differ.
Well, that is it for that. That is it for the triple threat match. Why don't we move on to what we got coming next? But first, we're going to take a quick commercial break.
At Progressive, you can get 24/7 protection, even if you break the space-time continuum.
We did it! We time traveled to yesterday!
Wait, Progressive covers us 24/7, but we just created an 8-day week, and it's 24/7 coverage, not 24/8. We gotta go back.
Are you joking right now?
Shh, I'm calling them. Hi, I have a question about time travel.
Progressive offers more than a great price when you bundle home and auto. We offer round-the-clock protection, which literally means anytime. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers, and subject to policy terms. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Sometimes you need to take control to make a difference. That's why with FlexPath from Capella University, you're in control. Set your own deadlines and leverage your experience to move at a pace that works for you. Discover a different way forward at capella.edu.
All right, we are back. Zach, we are here to talk about Ashley Fox versus Kaia McKenna now that we have returned from Women's Wrestling Revolution. What were your thoughts on this one?
First off, I was not expecting to see a match from Borscht at the beach.
I didn't realize it until the announcer said it.
I was like, they're on a beach. I was like, oh, a beach. Like, it's been like since Masha Slamovich Borscht. Here at Borscht at the beach. I was like,
it's like, oh, I see.
Was like, of course there would be more than one than the one match we saw. I was like, okay, cool. I thought this match was for me it was solid.
I agree.
I think I've seen one or two of each of their matches. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Might have been on Dark. It might have been something else. But I came into this with a pretty fresh look at both of them.
Yes.
Starting off this match, of course, Kaia towering over Ashley. Do the classic.
Yeah, making sure that's known.
Test of strength. Nah, too small. I did like, however, that Ashley doesn't just stand there. She kicked Kaia in the gut and then threw her.
Ashley was not having it.
I feel like
she was like, yeah, I know I'm short. Get fucked.
I feel like she gets that joke done on her way too often.
Oh yeah.
So
you just gotta hit him back with the "How's the weather up there?" Right?
Yeah.
Coming from a fellow short person.
Mm-hmm. Or you could just curse them by pointing at them.
Or kick him in the gut and throw him to the ground, just like Ashley Fox did.
Kick him in the shin. Do whatever you do.
Listen, just since they're so tall and you're so short, your legs are perfectly in their like gut range. Just get them.
Exactly. So after this Irish whip, this kind of caused the two of them to go back and forth, countering each other until Ashley eventually takes out Kaia with a single leg drop kick to the face. So Kaia runs to the outside because she's the heel in this match. And while Ashley is unable to hit her with a suicide dive, she wants to hit because Kaia moves out of the way. So Ashley's got to stop mid suicide dive. She does make up for this by sentoning onto her from the apron.
Mm-hmm.
And this is at the point of the match where I realized that we're actually on a beach. Because up until this point, I just saw the ocean, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. We might be on like a boardwalk again. No.
And then you're like, oh, right onto the sand, huh?
I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, imagine wrestling a match with sand in your trunks.
Oh, sounds fucking miserable.
I give her credit for that senton. I wouldn't have pulled it off, not because I was scared of hitting the sand, but just so I didn't get sand anywhere.
I wouldn't want to fall down the outside because I wouldn't want any sand to get in my mouth or eyes in the middle of the match. I feel like that'd be just an absolute nightmare.
It's coarse and rough, and it gets everywhere.
Great joke every time.
You gotta always go for the prequel meme when you can.
I love prequel memes, so I will never not laugh at it.
Anyway.
So, shortly after, Ashley chucks Kaia into the ring and gets her in a kind of like a head crank armbar hold. But it isn't as effective as she was hoping for because Kaia stands up, still in the hold, and she converts it into a spinning sidewalk slam because she's a lot taller and a lot stronger than her.
The spinning sidewalk slam looked fantastic, by the way. That's something I wanted to point out that caught my eye during this match was that spinning sidewalk slam was really good.
Yeah, agreed.
You ever just see a move and you were like, if I was a professional wrestler, that's something I would do.
Oh yeah, all the time. I see a move, I'm like, oh yeah, that would be like one of my signatures, 100%.
This spinning sidewalk slam is like one of those things where I saw it and I was like, if I was a wrestler, I would use that fucking move.
For me, it's like the Code Red. I love the Code Red.
Oh, I love the Falcon Arrow, man.
Oh.
Falcon Arrow's great. Specifically Jay White's Uranagi, where he like takes him from one side and just picks him up to the other and just slams him down. It looks so intense.
Looks so good.
A really good Uranagi looks so brutal, man.
Looks like Samoa Joe's sit your ass down.
You gotta just sometimes you gotta just make the like take a basic move and do it really, really well, and you'll stand out.
Oh
right?
yeah,
like it's not always about being flashy, doing the flippy shit, right? No offense to that. Like anybody who loves that kind of wrestling, I love it too.
Mikey's the lucha guy. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Like it's great. I love that flippy shit. But I'm saying also just like wrestlers just doing a very like basic wrestling move really well or in a unique way can take you so far also, and take a match so far, and take my enjoyment of the match so far as well. Anyway, that was a weird tangent to go off of a spinning sidewalk slam, but I just wanted to say something about it.
Fair enough. So Ashley's now down after this gorgeous 10 out of 10 beautiful spinning sidewalk slam. So we then get into a sequence of events where Kaia, simply put, she just dominates Ashley thanks to her, as I was saying before, her size and her power.
Yeah. Way bigger, way stronger is how it feels.
Absolute domination. At one point, after like a backdrop suplex, Kaia gets Ashley in the corner, and she just rams her boot into her neck until the ref forces her to stop.
Classic.
And then she gets Ashley out of the corner with a judo throw, and she uses it several times. Like she just like holds onto Ashley's arm base and just keeps throwing her, going like, one more? The crowd is both cheering and booing for her at the same time.
The crowd's like, yes, we want to see wrestling, but not against her, please.
Yeah, because one thing I forgot to mention here, there was a bit of context I just remembered. This is Ashley's hometown.
Right, yes.
I had forgotten about that because the commentators mentioned it at the very end of this match. And I was like, oh, no wonder she was so cheered, besides the fact that she's good at wrestling, obviously.
Besides the fact that she's actually Fox, yeah.
However, Kaia is forced to eventually let go of this judo throw, like, Cobra clutch she's got her in. Because Ashley fishhooks the side of her mouth.
Got him.
Which, as I learned later...
Sea stars.
...is her finisher, or part of her finisher.
Part of her finisher, yeah.
So I was like, okay, fair enough. I'd want to let go too then.
Gotta have the nautical theme finishing moves.
So, So, with momentum on her side, now Ashley tries to senton on top of Kaia after taking her down with the snapmare, except Kaia rolls out of the way, so they both end up just knocked down because Kaia's still fucked up from the senton and the fish hook. So they both get onto their knees. They start slamming forearms into each other's faces. They both slowly get to their feet, and once they each stand up, Kaia shoves Ashley away, then boots her away, but Ashley responds with a super kick under the jaw. Down and right
nice.
into the jaw, right in the
Got
kisser.
her.
Pow, right in the kisser.
It was a great looking super kick.
And again, they're both knocked down, and when they each get up, they run the forearm off that I was just talking about. They run it back. They get the salty run back.
Do it again.
And this time, Ashley shows she's the clear winner here.
Do it again.
I do it again. Repeatedly forearming Kaia in the face. And after she relents doing this, she hits Kaia with a European uppercut and an enziguri. When Kaia does actually recover from this and begins to move towards her, she tries to hit Ashley, but misses. And Ashley responds to this by getting a fish hook cinched in on the side of her mouth.
Yes.
And then, oddly enough, here, when Ashley goes for the ripcord, to ripcord this fish hook to hit her, Kaia just kind of collapses.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, miscommunication or selling? I don't know. Because it looked like Ashley was ready to punch her in the face.
She's so exhausted.
Yeah, I was like, I was talking about commentary, be like, oh, she was so exhausted she couldn't even get the...
This has been such a physical matchup. It must have taken a toll on both competitors.
Yeah, exactly. Anywho, so Ashley goes to pin her.
But we rip on commentators a lot, but I would love to be a wrestling commentator. Good lord.
Maybe if I was younger, I would have been a wrestler, but these days, I'd be a commentator, 100%.
God, same, dude. I just want to talk about it. I just want to fucking be on. I just want to fucking talk about it.
When I talk about these matches, to be like Excalibur,
right? Like, fuck, dude.
God,
that's what I want to do. Let's just fuck it. Let's just drop the podcast and go into business. Let's just try to be a commentary team for like local promotions. F it.
Who knows? Maybe it could work. So, after Kaia kicks out of not getting hit with the ripcord, but still being tired, she gets back into this match by hitting Ashley with a jawbreaker and then Irish whipping her into the ropes in order to knock her into the bottom of the corner with a pounce attack, but it doesn't get her the win, unfortunately. So she gets Ashley.
The pounce was great, though.
Another good move by her. She's got some good power moves in her arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
So she gets Ashley up on her shoulders in a fireman's carry, but then Ashley wiggles out of the hold like a worm and locks in a fishhook armbar finisher that she calls the real catch because she's the real catch.
The real catch.
And she picks up the win here.
Cha.
I thought this was a solid match.
So good. Yeah, this match was solid. These two really kicked the crap out of each other, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there were some points in this match where I feel like things were not the smoothest. There's some miscommunications. Looks at the ripcord spot, then looks away. But regardless of that, crowd was good. Match was well paced. I liked it. Get some meh from me.
Agreed. Solid meh for me as well. This match was pretty good, and they both showed off what they could do. Right, like I think they both highlighted their strengths in wrestling, and anytime you highlight both competitors at the end of a match, it was a good match. I think so.
Now,
all right, let's get into this guy here. Let's break into this one.
It has been a fucking minute since we've had a match from
it's been a minute since we've had like a technical wrestling banger. I feel like.
Oh yeah, and last time we saw a match from Fred Yehi, I think was that one match I had where it looked like it was shot through a fish lens with weird audio.
Oh yeah.
But I'll never forget the match that made me a fan of Yehi and Garcia actually too. Actually, these were early on. Brian gave us the suggestion for Yehi that made me a fan of his, and I found the Garcia match. God, that was like the first episode after the pilot episode. Fuck me.
Yeah, dude.
Anywho, Fred Yehi, Daniel Garcia, AAW Pro. It's a technical matchup between two technical masters, with Yehi leaning more into his power side and Garcia leaning more towards his speed and his. I'm not gonna lie, leaning more towards his speed and just his enduring nature. Because boy howdy, Garcia takes a fucking beating in this match.
This match is like textbook definition of like textbook wrestling, right? Like these two are nailing each other with holds. They are reversing each other. It is a clinic of a technical wrestling fiesta.
So right off the bat, these two lock up, go toe to toe with each other with graps, holds, all the fixins until Garcia takes down Yehi with a single leg takedown. Yehi gets a rope break, and then like still holding his leg, the two of them are just kind of staring each other in the face. They slap the shit out of each other, and then they stand up. They go back at it again, and even though Yehi gets the upper hand with the side headlock takeover, Garcia is able to neutralize him with a leg lock hold on his neck. Slowly but surely, though, Yehi gets out of it, and he attacks Garcia's leg for the two of them get up, and they run it back again.
Yeah.
However, this time, Yehi gets Garcia in a firm wrist lock, picks him up, and then just slams him to the fucking mat. Shortly after, when he gets Garcia locked in a sharpshooter, Garcia gets a rope break very quickly and resets the match again. And it's very clear in this match that Garcia, while he is a little shit, and I love him for it, he's not an idiot. And he realizes that if Yehi gets him locked in a hold, he's going to fuck him up really badly. And
not even only holds. Yehi was also like... Yehi was going ham with strikes as well. Yehi was laying his fucking elbows in and his knees in, like he was. He was hitting hard, and he was hitting hard, and his holds were tight as hell, right?
Oh
like,
yeah,
everything Yehi did just looked so brutal.
The scary part about this too is that during this whole time, we're in the phase of this match where Yehi's taking Garcia easily. Like, there's a point in this match where we'll get to where like a switch is flipped, and Yehi goes from easy mode to boy you done fucked up mode, and he starts to fuck Garcia up. We'll get to that in a bit, though. So, match is reset again. Yehi gets taken to the mat by Garcia, and again, Yehi starts to get the upper hand, and Garcia gets a rope break again. He's smart, just disrespectful. Except this time, Yehi disrespectfully gets, like, right up in Garcia's face and, like, postures, motions for him to stand up. Like, he still is not taking Garcia seriously. And one thing you should never do with Daniel Garcia is disrespect him to his face. Because boy howdy, he will show you why that was a horrible mistake. These two lock up again. The moment they do, though, Yehi shoves Garcia into the corner and stiffly chops him across the chest. Gunshot chops. That's what all these fucking chops were. Whereas most of Shudder in pain, though, Garcia looks like someone just kind of woke him up because he just throws Yehi in the corner and returns the favor with another chop of his own. And as a reactionary method to this, Yehi snap mirrors Garcia out of the corner and drop kicks him in the side of the fucking head. Not wasting an ounce of time, though, Yehi then locks in his Koji clutch finisher that he refuses to let go an exceedingly long amount of time, despite the fact that Garcia actually crawled to the bottom rope and got a rope break. I was actually annoyed with the ref here, I'm not going to lie, Mikey. Because I was like, yo, get him off of him, dude. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, right? Like, the ref was not really doing a great job of
there were points.
Enforcing the rules.
I was like, bro, he's literally being, like, trapped in this hole, and you're not getting, like, let him let the fuck go, bro.
Yeah, right? Like, geez, like, do something.
But after he finally fucking lets go, you can immediately tell that Yehi ain't fucking about anymore after this incident, because he gets Garcia in the corner and chops him so far that he knocks Garcia off his feet to the bottom of the corner. And as Garcia is just laying there in pain, wondering how the fuck he's going to get back into this match, Yehi uses the corner to jump into the air, and then he just double stomps Garcia's chest. 2 huge stomps. Ruthlessly, Yehi wraps his whole body around Garcia in a rear naked choke after this and just punishes him over and over again. Until Garcia finally gets up to his feet and chops him about as hard as he can. To which case, Yehi responds with one of his own, which causes the two of them to then repeat. And in the end, Garcia, as I said, he is a stubborn motherfucker, and an enduring one as well. He endures all this punishment, gets a good couple shots in, but the moment, he gets his receipt from to Yehi in the form of, in the end, Garcia does endure Yehi's punishment. He even gets a couple good chops in here, but he gets his receipt for this in the form of Yehi slamming his arm over his shoulder and just chopping him across the chest and then battering him with a forearm to the back of the neck. And the moment that Garcia hits the fucking mat like a goddamn assassin, Yehi jumps onto his back and locks in the Koji clutch so fucking fast you could blink and miss this shit.
Yeah.
That man, I give him props. He knows how the fuck to put his finisher in instantly from any spot. Which definitely shows you how smart Garcia was to take the rope break whenever he could.
Yup. You were absolutely correct.
So even though Garcia is able to actually escape this Koji clutch and endure more chops from Yehi, when he gets a single leg takedown on Yehi, finally seeming like he's going to get into this match, Yehi counters it with another rear naked. But Garcia counters this counter by flipping onto his feet so that Yehi is still like got his shoulders on the mat, and he puts him in his own rear naked choke. Continuing this streak of violence we've got here now, the two go back and forth just battering each other. And for the first time in this match, Garcia actually takes like full control of this match by booting Yehi so hard that he just flops backwards onto the mat.
Which was just, like, come on, dude.
Yeah, like, he fucking knocked his lights out with that.
Jesus Christ.
And this is, as I said, it was other points of this match, Garcia got like the advantage. But this is the point where Garcia is full blown like in the driver's seat, and man, he makes every moment of this count.
Taking advantage of it.
Efficiently. He just keeps Yehi down by hitting him with thick chops to the chest. Everything he does, counter with a different hold that he refuses to break hold. Max amount of time on the ropes. No fucking mercy. And it all comes to a head after Garcia gets Yehi in a figure 4 leg lock that he refuses to break until the ref forces him again when Yehi gets to the bottom ropes. And the whole time that Garcia's got this hold, and I love this, he's just trash talking Yehi to his face. Like, come on, you want to fuck me up? Come on, tap, you little bitch. Fucking tap. And I'm just like, I love him. I love him so much. And when Yehi tries to crawl away to recover, Garcia just starts to disrespectfully kick him and treat him like Yehi very much did earlier when he was on the floor as well. And it's at this moment that Yehi seems like he went from fucking about to actually seems like he sees Garcia as a threat. Because he kind of smiles like, you got the balls to do that to me? Okay. Gets up out of the corner. The two go back at each other. Garcia ducks a back fist from him. He then takes Yehi to the ground, but he's unable to do much else because Yehi grabs both of his wrists, stomps his chest while he's leaning back on the mat. And the moment Garcia falls forward, Yehi puts him in the Koji clutch again. Garcia is able to escape this barely by keeping his chest to the mat and to upwards towards the sky. So he avoids the clutch. What he doesn't avoid is the punishment that Yehi responds with when he sees this, which is he just takes his hands, just makes them in a hammer fist, and just slams them into his chest and his head. This shit sounded like a hammer pounding a nail in. Like, yeah. I winced. I was like, oh, dude. God. And Garcia sells this sudden but effective assault really well. While, like, he's, like, gasping for air on the ground as Yehi gets to his feet. Frustrated that Garcia hasn't been taken down by the clutch yet, though. He just boots Garcia in the face, but it pisses him off again. Another slap to the face, another boot to the jaw. Garcia stands up. They go at it, back and forth with chops, until Garcia hits consecutive European uppercuts to the chest, nearly rolls Yehi up. And when Garcia takes him down after the single leg, he makes a very fatal mistake, Mikey.
Yes, he does.
He underestimates Yehi when he's on his back foot.
Never, ever do that.
He goes to lock him in a submission, and Yehi grabs him from the floor, flatlines him face first into it, and before Garcia can even think about the bottom rope, puts him in a Koji clutch instantly, takes his hand, just hammer fists him in the face over and over again, and Garcia finally taps out to Yehi.
Yes.
I really, really like the finish of this match.
Me too.
Not only was it out of nowhere, but it like fit perfectly to the fact that all match, Yehi had been just effortlessly and just out of nowhere just hitting these Koji clutches. And it made Garcia's paranoia in the match make more sense. And it would make sense that the moment Garcia, like, is fucked up after getting beat up, that he just forgets to block it and he gets put in it and just loses instantly. I also enjoyed how, despite the fact that neither guy was really a face or heel, I was just happy to see two dudes thought they were better than the other one fucking each other up, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
It's good.
It was just like, this match was insane. These two, like you said, these two were fucking each other up, like just insane strikes, insane holds, just back and forth. Like, they both had control at some point. This match was just nuts. Yehi just looked like he murdered Garcia at the end.
Oh, he killed him.
This match was great.
What would you give this match the rating, Mikey?
I think I'm gonna give it a mark out.
I think
match was nuts.
I will agree with you there.
Yeah, this match was insane, dude.
It's a great fucking match.
Yeah, I loved it.
Oh, boy. Pretty solid week of wrestling this week.
I agree.
I do say so myself.
Yeah, it was a great week of wrestling. Why don't we talk about what we're bringing next week to the table?
Of course. All right, so as Mikey chose the majority of the matches 2 weeks ago, I will choose the majority this week. So we've got MV Young versus JD Drake at Enjoy Wrestling, because I really like the work JD Drake does on AEW. I've been a fan of him for a while now, and I want to see a match where I don't think he's going to instantly lose because the guy he's fighting is like Jon Moxley. So I'm excited for that. And finally, a wrestler that I've wanted to review on the show for a while with you, Mikey. Chris Brooks versus Saki Akai at DDT Pro Wrestling. I've come to realize these days that I should just look up these people that these wrestlers that are in Japanese promotions, their name in Japanese, because it doesn't show up on my normal search. But if I do it in Japanese, I could probably find it more. So if you see that more often on this show, that's the reason why. Because I've wanted to match this guy for so long, and he just has evaded me for so long.
All right.
So really, I'm very
I'm excited to get into his matches.
Pumped for this. And finally, Mikey, what have you brought?
I brought Trish Adora versus Logan Easton LaRue from Beyond Wrestling.
El Clasico.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this one. These two are going to murder each other.
Oh, of course. It's going to be fucking sick.
All right. Now that we are done with the previews, why don't we get into the plugs? Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Indy Waters, where we tweet about all of these matches that we talked about today and give you the links of where you can go see them for yourself and form your own opinions. We also always are open to suggestions from our fans about what matches we should watch. So if you have a suggestion for this show, hit us up at Indy Waters on Twitter. You can also go follow our mothership network, the Countout Network, over at Countout Pod on Twitter, where you can catch up with all the other shows here on the Countout Network, such as Your Dose of Death, How to Talk to Your Friend About Wrestling, Ring Post Radio, and so much more. We have a great lineup here on the Countout Network, and we have some more coming very, very soon, so keep an eye out for that. We have some big announcements coming up for next month. Lots of fun stuff happening on the Countout Network, so stick around, be a part of it. And I hope you are all excited, because I think we're going in a fun little direction here.
Oh yeah, changes are coming. And it's going to be
changes
fun.
are coming. Mm-hmm. I agree. So why that you can go follow the Count Out Network also on YouTube. Subscribe over there. Count Out the Wrestling Podcast Network, and like us on Facebook as well under the same name. You can also go check out our website, countoutpod.com, where we have all the information about all of our podcasts over there. And you can also hit us up if you want your own podcast on the Count Out Network, or if you want to write for us, you can also go email us over there and contact us over at countoutpod.com. And we are getting we are also getting Count Out Network is also transitioning to TeePublic instead of countoutpod.com/store, because we are going to be selling some of our stuff over at TeePublic to make it a little easier on everybody. So if once that launches, we will let you know. Once our TeePublic is launched with items, we will let you know where you could start buying some merch. And I believe go join the Count Out Discord. Hit us up. Email us if you want email us, or hit us up on Twitter if you want the link. We'll invite you, let you in. You can come join the Count Out community over on Discord and talk about all kinds of wrestling with all kinds of fun people.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I believe that about does it for the plug. Zach, you got anything?
No.
Didn't think so. So that just leaves us one thing left to say, and that is to remember there's a gigantic sea of independent wrestling out there.
So never stop exploring.
This has been a Count Out Podcast.
Hey guys, gals, and non-binary pals.
It's Amanda Bones.
And I'm Ashley.
Of How to Talk to Your Friend About Wrestling, the podcast on the Count Out Wrestling Podcast Network, a weekly show where we talk about all of our favorite things: babes, blood, and brutality.
We also talk about other fun things, like is Kenny Omega finally too tan? And how much blood is too much blood? Because that looks like way too much blood.
So join us on the adventure of teaching me, Amanda Bones, about wrestling.